Bears lose 19-13 to the Minnesota Vikings, dropping our record to 1-5. Justin Fields got hurt during the game, which is, God, there's a lot of noise upstairs right now. What are they doing up there? Okay, anyway. Dear Lord, what a horrible, awful game from just every side of the ball. And then during the third quarter, Justin got hurt. Looked like his wrist or something. X-rays look promising, so hopefully he's okay. But he looked god-awful today. And now we're right back in the spot that we were at the first few weeks of this season, where it's, is he or is he not? Is he good or is he not good? Which is, we need to find out. And he's always one or the other. And every week you don't know if he's good or if he's bad. And that is why we can't commit to this guy. And if we move on from Justin, we got to move on from these coaches too. Because we can't keep getting caught in this cycle of new coaching staff, 2 years later, new quarterback, 2 years later, new coaching staff. We just need to start fresh from the beginning. But I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. The whole cycle, like, I'd rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. I'd rather we get to, and maybe we could get him and a quarterback. Maybe we could get him and Michael Penix or Caleb Williams or whoever. Caleb Williams looked awful last night, so, I don't even have that bit of hope in me. But I'm just so sick and tired of talking about the draft and picks and tanking and positioning and over again. I just want to win games. I've forgotten what it's like because we won 4 games in the last 2 years. And it just wears on you, And today is just everything that we thought the Bears were just reared its ugly head again, from the first few weeks of the season. We had god-awful play calling, refusing to go DJ Moore, reverting back to screens, and running the ball way too much, despite not having any of our top 2 running backs, despite our O-line playing like absolute garbage, which we knew was going to happen because the Vikings blitz all the time. And, they and then by the time they actually started opening it up, Justin had lost any semblance of confidence, momentum, anything where he could get something going. And then, then he gets hurt because he kept getting hit. I mean, first play of the game, the dude goes back to pass. Larry Borom, just a guy, just goes right past him. Borom doesn't even block him. Just goes through. So Fields just immediately gets sacked. And I go, yep, okay. Well, Fields is not going to have a good day today because when he gets rattled early, he can't come back from that. And in year 3, that's a problem that you're not supposed to have. These are rookie problems that Fields still is going through. And Fields looked great the last couple of weeks. And then he just, and I have a hard time putting it on just him. And I keep saying that. But he gets no help from Luke Getsy, and he gets no help from his offensive line, but especially Luke Getsy. You can't just keep calling runs and wide receiver screens and thinking it's going to work when you have a DJ Moore who had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. Like, the dude carried our offense, and we didn't even throw to him hardly at all in the first half. We got down early. We had a couple bad turnovers. Vikings wanted to give us this game so bad. Like, they were like, please take it. And we were like, no, we really want to lose today because we're the Bears and that's all we know. God, there's a lot of stuff to talk about from that game. Defense looked nice. I got all their starters back, didn't let up too much. Vikings didn't have Justin Jefferson. We were getting pressure. Getting turnovers. We had a fumble recovery. We had a couple interceptions, I think. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards looks like a stud. I'll say that. He had a great day. But that's about where my compliments stop. The Bears offense is it just looked so slow and plodding in the first half. Just like it looked like they just couldn't get anything going against a Vikings defense that isn't good. Like they're not a great defense, and we just couldn't do anything. And it's like, and now we got to go back to where we were before. Justin gets hurt, which, hopefully he doesn't miss any time from that. Tyson Bagent came in and he looked kind of good for a little bit. He was they were kind of opening up the field, throwing downfield. He looked nice, but this is a rookie quarterback from a D2 school, and he showed that. Threw an interception, just floating one up to DJ Moore. Just no zip to it. Vikings got it pretty easily. Took it, and yeah, that was it. So, and it's just the same problems we always have. And I've gone from angry to just sad. Because I know this team is not 1 year away from being good or 2 years away from being good. The way that this roster is constructed is fundamentally flawed. The way that this team is coached is fundamentally flawed. The way these players are playing is fundamentally flawed. The basics of football, we don't see them doing. For a team that is talented on paper, these coaches aren't getting an ounce out of them. And it looked like, it didn't even look like last year's Bears or the first few weeks of the season's Bears. It looked like the 2019 Bears or the 2020 Bears or the 2021 Bears. It looked like nothing had changed. And that is why you need to just, and I'm not the type to be like, start, fire everybody, start from the ground up, all of that, because I've always been the proponent of what you've got, you can work with, but we cannot work with what we've got right now, especially not with the coaching staff they don't know what they are doing. They make it look so hard. And you look at other teams and it's like they're playing a different sport than us. Not much to go off of today other than the defense. I guess Bagent looked better than I was expecting, but he still, he had a nice drive, but after that he didn't do much. We had the classic Fields problem of throwing an interception during a crucial drive. Well, Bagent did it too. And I have a hard time thinking anything is going to fix this team. We looked great the last couple of weeks, and I thought that was something to build off of. If we win this game, you're 2-4, and your season's not completely over yet, and you can at least get to 500. And I said that in the last video. I go, you know what? We can work with what we looked like, with Justin playing great, DJ Moore popping off, the O-line playing well, and it just all fizzled away this game. At least we're going to get an end to those people that are like, bench Fields, put in Bagent. Bagent's great, because of one good preseason drive. But, you saw Bagent and, it wasn't exactly an awe-inspiring performance. No, yeah, it's not looking good. And I don't even know where you go from here. We could talk about draft picks in the offseason, but I still think it's a little too early for all of that. All I do know is the coaching staff needs to go, and I know this more than I did when we let go of Nagy. Like, it's that bad right now. And you're in year 2, and your guys are looking this awful, and you're 1-4 in a year we're 1-5 now. In a year where you're supposed to make a playoff push. This was supposed to be last year was the build year. This year is supposed to be the wild card year, and then next year is supposed to be where you actually become a contender. And nope, we're very far away from that. And I just can't handle the constant whiplash and back and forth of, you have one game where Fields looks pretty good and the offense looks good and the defense looks great against the Commanders, and then you get an extra long week to prepare and you come out and you look like this and Fields looks awful and the coaching staff looks awful and we're right back where we were before. Except we can't even look at Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams doesn't really look all that great. It'd just be so much easier if Fields could just be good and we could just roll with him, but it's not happening. I think it's a little too far gone, and the fact that he's this inconsistent in year 3 is not something that you can build a contending team around because he's just not consistent enough with his good games. Sometimes you get a loss that leaves you just completely hopeless. And this was definitely one of them. I really don't have that much to say in regards to what we can do or what this team's going to look like. Because every week it feels like we're getting a different Bears. But, last week was kind of... If you told me that we were going to hold the Vikings to like 19 points, I would have been like, oh, okay, we probably won this game then. Nope. We didn't get a touchdown until pretty much the fourth quarter. Fields had like 65 passing yards by the end of it, and he got sacked a bunch. And, just low effort blocking. The O-line is just... God. And, you have guys that are hurt, but, dude, we need to find a new center because Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair, especially Cody Whitehair, that dude does not know how to snap the ball. And that's something he's been doing for a long time. He used to be a good center, and it's like he just forgot, Duh. I feel very defeated right now. This team's going to be a while. It's going to be a little bit. And there's too many issues on this team. And at this point, if you're George McCaskey or the Bears brass or Kevin Warren, you got to look at this and you got to know this isn't working. Because it's not. The team should not be looking like this. And we can't be looking like this for this long. And just roll with it. Next week we have the Raiders. Raiders, we should win, but we won't because if this game... I can't handle the constant back and forth of I went from last week thinking we could win the next 3 to this week now I'm like, oh, well, now we're going to lose. I just never know what to think with this team. We just keep there's just no consistency and we're constantly back and forth of Justin's good, defense is good, Justin's bad, defense is bad, coaching staff looks bad, play calling's bad. Like throw it at DJ Moore, please. God.